Chris.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
I needed a change of pace and I had your key, so I figured I'd come here.
I gave you that key in case of emergencies if I got locked out.
Okay, but if you do get locked out and I'm already here, you get in that much quicker. I'm doing better at my job. Why are we yelling?
Do you want to move these lights again? Welcome to If I Could Churn Back Time.
Episode 2 of our new show that teaches you how to make ice cream at home while we talk to guests about life experiences they've had and what they might do differently if they had the opportunity to churn back time. Today, we're talking to Aisha.
That's right.
What are we talking about?
Today, we are talking about my marriage.
Just in general, was there a specific topic you honed in on for this episode?
Well, I am no longer married, like a lot of people who are watching our show.
And this isn't a recent thing.
No. It's been some years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been reflecting on it a little bit, and I don't regret it. You know, like most challenges in life, you learn a lot, right? You gain a lot of resilience. It made me very resilient. But I think it's more, I am just curious about what could have been had I not chosen to go that route in my life.
The marriage or the divorce?
The marriage.
So what kind of ice cream are we making today?
Butter pecan.
Okay. Can I be honest?
Mm-hmm.
I hate butter pecan ice cream.
Uh-oh.
Not one of my favorites. Like, I've never ordered butter pecan ice cream
Really?
at an ice cream shop. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be delicious.
All right. The first ingredient we're going to work with in our pecan.
Pecan. So none of those things that you were doing.
I was so far off.
Yeah.
So we've got our pecans. A half cup. We've got some butter. 1 tablespoon. We're going to combine those in a small skillet for about 5-6 minutes. We're really going to bring out the flavor of the pecans, roast them up, and then throw them into our base. Let's go to the stove.
You're gonna love it.
All right, as these things start going, you really got to keep an eye on them. You don't want them to burn. You want them to start roasting. They'll start to darken up a little bit.
Oh, it smells so good.
Still just tastes like a pecan.
Like a what?
Pecan?
Like what?
Still saying it wrong.
Pecan.
Pecan. See how they're starting to turn brown? They're not burning, and we want to keep them moving because this pan's still really hot.
Smells amazing.
Roasted pecans.
Nice socks.
Thanks.
In our first episode, we showed you how to make the base for the ice cream. This is the base that we're going to use for the next couple of episodes to get started.
With one small change today, to bring out the caramel flavor in the pecans, we're swapping out white granulated sugar for brown sugar. In a mixing bowl, we're going to combine 1 cup brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of dry milk powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Once everything's in the bowl, mix it all together. Once it's all combined, put it aside. Our next step, we're going to take
1 1/3 cup whole milk. And see, I learned something last time.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. And it's very sticky corn syrup.
How much of that?
2 tablespoons. Yeah. put it in this pot. And if you have a rubber spatula, you can use it to get all of it out. Or a spoon, whatever you got on hand. Our next step is to put our dry mix in the pot and put the pot on the stove.
So remember last week when we added our vanilla bean to make vanilla ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
When we heat everything up on the stove, that's our opportunity to add in things that we maybe don't want to put into the ice cream. So we're not adding like purees into this phase of things, but things that we want to suck the flavor out of. Let steep like a tea. So we have a vanilla bean that we're going to add to this. What is this weird bowl and stick thing that you got in front of me?
This is a mortar and pestle. You can use it to crush things, like hearts. Why don't you try it? It's fun, right?
This is really satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
I might get one of these and just crush stuff up like peppercorns would be really fun in this.
Very therapeutic.
Once your vanilla beans all crushed up or cut up, depending on how you did it, take it over to the stove. Take your pecans that have been cooling, add them both to your mix. We're going to heat things up just a little bit. Set it to medium, cook for about 3 minutes. Set it off to the side for another 10 minutes, and just let everything soak. How's it looking?
Good.
Ooh, yeah. I love that color in there.
Yeah.
Save some for the ice cream.
No.
All right, you ready to add in our flavors?
Sure am. First, I'm going to add the vanilla. Next, we'll add in our pecans. Or pecan. And let this sit and cool for 10 minutes. For our next step, you'll need 1 1/3 cup heavy whipping cream. We'll pour it into our mix and whisk it up. Ready?
Ready. Do you want me to whisk while you pour?
No.
Okay. All right, and the last step is to put it in the fridge. But first, we've got to get those bits out of there. Enter fine mesh strainer.
But then won't that strain the pecans out too?
Yep.
You don't want the pecans?
Not yet. You can keep the pecans off to the side for now. We're going to let them hang out while the base chills in the fridge. Remember, you want to keep it in there for at least 30 minutes, overnight if you can. The longer it sits and everything settles, the better it's going to taste. So, quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now do you want to tell us why we're doing butter pecan ice cream?
Yes, but I have to tell you a little bit more about the story first.
Okay. All right.
So, I mentioned that I don't regret getting married, right? It's a great dude, just not right for me.
It happens.
It happens. You know, you're young, you're in love, and you just, there's really nothing else to do when you love someone that much. You have to get married. But in that relationship, I think I was trying to maybe be someone I'm not. You know, you try to be better for your partner, you try to be different for your partner. And I think he was maybe trying to do something similar. So I think we were not really being true to ourselves. We wanted to be right for each other. I think we both went into it with really good intentions. We had a lot of love for each other, but you know, I think I loved the idea of him and what I thought our life would be like. And I think he loved being loved by me. I think we did it for the wrong reasons, but we were just too young to know that those were the wrong reasons because it felt so good and it felt so right. While I don't regret it, I am curious to know what could have been. I'm curious to know what I could have done with those 6 years we spent together, start to finish. I'm curious to know what would have happened if I hadn't been getting divorced in the middle of med school. That was very traumatic, as you can imagine. So I just wonder what my life would have been like, who I would have been. Would I be someone different? Would I I don't know, would I still live here? I have no idea. It's kind of interesting to think about. It's this, sliding doors moment. I don't know if you've seen that movie. But, if we were to have broken up during one of our, fights in the first couple of years that we were dating, who knows? Would I have moved out of state? Would I think I'd still be in medicine, because that was I was always going to do that. And I did that on my own merit with my own resources. I do think that when you go through something like that, something that kind of shakes you to the core, breakups are bad, divorces are worse, that sometimes it can shake you right back into place. It can kind of ground you into who you were before, and who you always were before you were trying to be someone for someone else, if that was the case, right? So that's kind of what happened for me. It was very very solidifying. I was more myself afterwards than I ever was before, which was pretty amazing. It made me very resilient, probably too resilient. I don't think I need all of that. But yeah, so that's why I don't regret it. I just kind of wonder what could have been.
Sure.
Yeah.
All the doors that closed when that one slammed shut, right?
Right. When I had that laser focus on that one relationship, and again, not talking about my ex-husband at all personally, just the relationship itself, I think, was undeserving of all of that time, because it wasn't a real partnership. We were just two dum-dums in love with different things. So I wish I hadn't spent all that time on it. I could have done something else. I don't know what I could have done. That's the whole thing. But I do know that at the end of that whole long and arduous and painful process, that I was locked in to who I was and who I will always be. So I'm definitely happier now, and part of me is really grateful that I was able to endure such a thing. It was bad timing, going through that in medical school is not fun, but it gave me a lot of strength, and I don't think anything will hurt that much again, because nothing hurts like losing that puppy love that you have, but it's just a kind of a big thing. So you asked me why we were making butter pecan ice cream.
I did. I'm so curious.
So the answer is that it has always been my favorite flavor. I go to ice cream shops, usually with you, and I try all these different types of flavors, fancy ones, boutique shops in our neighborhood. But at the end of the day, this is who I am. At the end of the day, this is my favorite ice cream. Maybe it's just because I'm an old lady now. I don't know. But I liked it as a kid. I used to eat a lot of butterscotch. I don't know. But this is me.
Your soul is in this ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And especially this one that you made with your own hands.
This ice cream is who I am. Before, during, and after.
It's beautiful. Well, it's just about time to take it out of the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you doing?
I'm trying to get the vanilla bean bark out of here.
We messed up, guys.
We messed up.
We put the whole vanilla bean in there, knowing that we had to get the pecans out by themselves to put in the ice cream. Use vanilla extract.
Don't be like us.
Don't be like us. Don't try to overdo it.
No, we
Keep it simple.
Yeah. But this is why we're here. To try it. For you.
We're learning with you. Alright guys, the last step is going to be to churn the ice cream. The most important step of the ice cream making process. Otherwise, you just have cold milk.
Yeah.
Now you see how the pecans are all kind of stuck together? We roasted them in butter, and then we soaked them in ice cream. So they're going to want to combine together. Our ice cream maker has a paddle that spins around. All those pecans will get stuck in the paddle if we put them in before we churn the ice cream. So we're going to keep these off to the side. After the ice cream is done churning, it's going to be ready for the freezer. That's when we'll mix these in. Remember guys, you want this to be the consistency of like slightly melted soft serve ice cream when it's done. Should take about 30 minutes. Well, our base has been churning for about 30 minutes. It's ready for the freezer. Now is when we want to add in our pecans. Once you've mixed in your pecans, your base is ready for the freezer. Pour it into an airtight container and let it sit for at least 4 hours, overnight if you've got the time. The more time it sits and settles, the better it's going to taste. So this is it.
Yeah.
The first ice cream that you made. You picked the flavor.
Yeah.
It means something to you.
Sure does.
Let's try it.
All right.
Let's take you back.
It's fantastic. It is better than any butter pecan ice cream I've ever had. You won.
I think you won a little bit too. I like butter pecan ice cream. This is a flavor I've been missing out on all this time.
Yep.
So tell me, if you could go back, not be married, where do you think you'd be right now?
I think I would still have the same job.
So medicine was a given for you. That was happening no matter what.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I would still have the same job. Maybe I would have done it just a little bit earlier. I think I would probably still be in Chicago because I stayed in Chicago after I graduated because I have family here. I think maybe the biggest change would be that maybe I would have met someone. You know?
Someone better in that time that you were married?
I mean, who knows? Maybe someone worse. Maybe someone good and toxic, just the way we like it. You know?
Sure.
That is the draw of, you know, that thought process and that mind exercise to wonder, you know, would I have been someone different? Or would I still be sitting right here?
Well, I hope you'd still be sitting right here, because making ice cream with you is my new favorite thing, so let's keep doing that.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Now that we've heard a little bit of your backstory, found something very personal to you that you do differently given the chance. Do you have any lessons that you've learned that you want to share with people?
Yeah, I learned a lot of lessons over the course of, you know, being married and, you know, losing that marriage and moving on from that. The biggest one was that you should always be true to yourself and who you are. And you don't have to change anything about yourself to be better for someone or to make someone like you. Who you are is who you are. And, you know, that's good enough. That's great. I wonder if I had focused less on who I wanted to be and focused more on who I was and who I am. You know, who knows what could have been or not been.
Yeah.
So listen to that little voice in your head. The one that says, you know, this is not you. This is someone else. And you don't have to be that person. You just be yourself. And even when you do, you know, make those mistakes or have those experiences where you know, kind of stretch yourself thin and try to attempt to do something or be somebody, that experience in itself is, you know, it teaches you something. So it's not necessarily something to regret. Every big thing we do in our lives is a risk. So even if you do that and, you know, you muck it up, you're still going to learn from it. But the important thing is to learn from it, reflect on it. If it's a relationship that, you know, you lost, a missed job opportunity or whatever it is, think about it. Learn a lesson from it. Because adversity without learning is just a pain in the ass, you know?
Yeah.
So this is your life, and you should cultivate as much as you can. You can learn as much as you can, and you'll be better for it.
And we'll learn a lesson today on the show too.
Don't put the vanilla bean
in with the thing you're mixing.
with the thing you're mixing. Don't do that.
You have to pick all the bits out. It's no good.
Bit picking.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on our second episode. We hope you're loving the show. Make sure you check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We've been posting behind the scenes footage. We're probably going to have a couple bloopers from this show too. Things get silly here.
I mean, we're perfect.
I wish. Far from it. Far from it. Our Venmo account name is below. If you're loving the show and want to contribute, help us out. Aisha, thank you so much for sharing your story today and inspiring the flavor. This turned out great. I'm a convert. I now like a flavor I didn't know I liked. We'll see you guys next time, right back here on If I Could Churn Back Time.